our severe weather team coverage continues in Osage County. Fox 23's Naomi Kitt is live in Hominy with the high water there that's making it difficult for drivers to navigate.
Ron, these flooding conditions are dangerous. In just a matter of minutes, the road can look like this and then turn into a river. I want you to take a look at this car. You can see when the road was just covered in water. This is the kind of thing that happens. A very dangerous situation for drivers and for first responders out here. I did get a chance to talk with the fire department this morning. They tell me overnight they had several water rescues. They had to bring out boats to get people and to get drivers to safety because that water was just so deep. I want you to take a look at some of the video that we were able to get this morning. We went around to several different neighborhoods in Hominy, and people were telling me that the water rose quickly and that it was extremely strong and that it was very deep as well. It was something they tell me that they have never seen in the area before. We were out all morning and we even saw that water in just a couple of minutes rise from just the top of our shoes all the way up to our ankles, and it was moving quickly as well. The police department was out overnight making sure that all of the roads were safe for drivers, and they were also asking people if they could stay home that they should, because it was a very dangerous drive. We are seeing the rain continue to fall this morning, and it has been steady. So all of the drivers we are seeing out here in Hominy right now are trying to take it just a little bit more slow so they can get to their jobs and so they can get to the area safely. We do know the schools in Hominy are closed today, so that's one good thing. Parents don't have to drop off their kids this morning, but many people are still heading to work, and these are some dangerous situations, especially for neighbors whose homes are flooding. That's the other thing. I talked with several people who tell me that all of that high water got into their homes. They have basements flooding. They have 4 to 5 inches of rain that actually got inside last night, damaging bedrooms, damaging furniture, and at this point they tell me they just really don't know what to do. I got a chance to talk with a man who was actually dealing with some of that flooding. Take a listen to what he had to say.
It was a lake. This is all there was to it. It was just a lake. I mean, the water was all the way up to my door, all the way up to the doors across. It was just, it was more like a river actually, because it was just running.
He told me that he saw trash cans floating down the street. People told me they saw children's toys, pieces of wood. Honestly, we even saw the head of a cow in his front yard that had just washed in there earlier this morning because of all of that high water overnight. I'm staying in touch with first responders as this rain continues to fall down, and you'll hear more from people who had to deal with those devastating flooding conditions. I'm putting that together for you soon. Reporting live in Hominy, covering news that matters, I'm Naomi Kitt, Fox 23 News.
Taking a live look right now at El Reno. This is just off of Banner Road where firefighters are making water rescues. You can see how high that water is, and looks like several cars. You can see actually a storm shelter right there that is above water, but several cars in what looks like a couple of feet of water. Again, in El Reno, an area that really early on in this yesterday was one of the places that actually saw some of the storm yesterday, and they've gotten a lot of rainfall over the last 24 hours, and you can see just how much they have there as that truck is going through trying to rescue people in that high water. Again, live pictures from El Reno.
Yeah, scary for the people in that house. Of course, we had the tornado threat late last night, then flooding overnight, then the secondary tornado threat this morning, the tornado that hit North Tulsa. Fox 23's Jenny Young is live in North Tulsa with a look at some of the worst of the damage there this morning.
Michelle, this massive tree fell on this house. That tornado ripped it right out of the ground here. Take a look. No damage to this house. That's something we very rarely get to report when you have a toppled tree. Absolutely no damage according to the Tulsa Fire Department, inside or outside. Ulysses, you own this home. You took shelter with your family down the street at a church. When you came back home and saw this tree, what went through your mind?
Oh my God, I was really scared, you know, because the first thing you think is how damaged is the house, but actually the house is not, it don't have any damage, so thanks God, you know, for that.
Yeah, thank God for that. That is amazing. But you will have to, it'll be a pretty lengthy process to have to cut this up and get it hauled out of here.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy because, you know, we have a long day today.
Yes, you will. You will. But thank God everything was okay. They took shelter, like we said, at the church down the street. But this area, we were seeing other trees that have been toppled, not quite as big as this one. We're seeing some fences that have been kind of swung, kind of just ripped away, but nothing too substantial. I think probably the worst damage is over there where my colleague Sarah Hart is, in this same area, but fortunately no one here at this home hurt. Reporting live in North Tulsa, covering news that matters, Jenny Young, Fox 23 News.
Of course, right in that area too, the Outsiders House Museum. I just got a text from Danny O'Connor. He says everything is A-OK with the museum, so good news there.
Yeah, immediately you were seeing the cross streets and knowing that was closed. Fortunately, the tornado threat has passed in the Tulsa area. All those tornado warnings were allowed to expire about 30 minutes ago. Chief Meteorologist James Adelot was here all night long tracking the severe weather. He's in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center now with a look at where rain is still falling and where flood warnings are still in effect.
Yeah, we still have a lot of flood issues to deal with. Flash flood warning still in effect for the metro area, and that's going to be in effect until 11:30. Heaviest rain from 412 to the north. That's going to cause one problem, that's flooding, but it's going to cause it many different ways. We've got a lot of standing water on streets. That's going to go into creeks, bigger creeks, and then rivers and eventually lakes. A lot of that rain fell in the Arkansas River Basin. That funnels into Lake Keystone. Additionally, a lot of rain fell in the Verdigris River Basin. That funnels into the Arkansas River and Muskogee, and even more rain fell in the Neosho River Basin, and that's going to go toward Muskogee. The Arkansas River is going to end up very high downstream, not only through Tulsa, but when you add in the flows of water from the Neosho and Verdigris, it's going to be high, especially high from Muskogee, curving down south of Sallisaw and out through Fort Smith and into Arkansas. Right now, mostly light rain across the metro area. The good news is with light rain, it's falling at a rate that's not quite as high as we're able to drain off some of that water. Unfortunately, as we drain off the water, again, it's going into the creeks and eventually the rivers and lakes. Our heaviest thunderstorms continue to set east of Tulsa. Right now, moving over from Mayes County into southern Delaware County, not severe. In fact, the only severe thunderstorm warnings that we have been further to the south. Let's take a look. Basically south of Interstate 40, we still have one severe thunderstorm warning here. And you can see this is from around Chakota all the way south into parts of Pushmataha County. So we'll do a track on the severe part of this because it still could have some hail in it and maybe some 60-mile-per-hour winds. So we'll take it across Latimer County and into Haskell County too as this moves to the east. And we'll stay at about 40 miles per hour. So moving up toward Roberts Cave State Park, Wilburton area, Porham, Whitefield, Sims, Lafayette, Stigler, and Denman through just after 9 o'clock. Again, severe thunderstorm warning. We'll be watching this closely because ahead of the line across parts of Haskell and Latimer County, we still have an atmosphere that could support thunderstorms that may produce a tornado warning or two. So that's what we're going to be watching as these storms continue moving east. They'll be out of our area pretty soon, and then we'll finally start getting a chance to dry out. Our Fox 23 severe weather team coverage continues with meteorologist Michael Sager. Michael?
Yeah, you mentioned that rain, James. Look at some of these official rainfall totals. Again, at the Mesonet site in Skytook, just about 8 inches of rain within the last 24 hours. We've had over 7 inches of rain at Oilton, Inola, over 6 inches of rain. In fact, almost 7 inches of rain at 6 3/4 inches of rain. Hectorville, just under 4.5 inches of rain. Then as you go south, those amounts dropped off drastically. It was basically I-44 and to the north that saw some of the heavier rainfall totals, including parts of the Tulsa Metro that saw some very heavy rainfall totals over the last 24 hours. Our severe threat, as that line, as James was tracking, continues to push its way to the east. Once that line clears through, that will pretty much be it for the severe weather threats that go throughout the day. And you can see here that risk has really been shaved off here from Tulsa back down to around Okemah and Holdenville. And again, that's all because the line has already moved through. The threat will increase, though, if by chance you are traveling today to Missouri and Arkansas and you get on the warmer side and the more unstable side of that line of storms. That's where the threat will continue. Again, that line of storms marching to the east. It's going to be long gone here as we head over the next couple of hours. By the time we head into the afternoon, we'll actually enjoy a fairly nice day. Some sunshine in the forecast, temperatures up into the 70s for our highs. and it will cool things down tonight. I think many of us by tomorrow morning could see some lows into the 50s and 60s. So some of us might be cool enough, perhaps a light jacket to start things out tomorrow morning, but no rain to worry about, no severe weather to worry about tomorrow. It'll be breezy out of the south, and we're going to pull up a lot of mugginess. We'll notice some of that tropical moisture coming back. Temperatures climbing up into the 80s, but we do not have to worry about any storms heading into tomorrow. And that's how we're going to close out the week. Temperatures very warm and it'll be very muggy. Mid to upper 80s will pretty much be the rule as we head through Friday. For more on what we can expect for your weekend plans, Fox23 Chief Meteorologist James Zadelot breaking down that weekend forecast.
Yeah, we're going to look at that radar forecast too, just so we can watch the computer hour by hour forecast of this rain finally moving off. There are the heaviest storms scooting out of the state, and behind it by noon, finally, west of Tulsa, not a thing falling out of the sky. Now, we may see a couple of showers develop in parts of northwest Oklahoma, and we still have a chance that we get a lingering shower or two overnight tonight into the day tomorrow. But as we head through the next few days, most of the action stays well to our east. We roll in that 5-day forecast. Because not all of the action stays to our east, we'll still have that 20% chance of a shower or storm starting on Wednesday, probably all the way through the weekend. But we've got warmer temps and we've got a lot of wind to deal with, and that wind is going to be a factor in a lot of recovery efforts too, because we could see winds gusting up close to 40 miles per hour, maybe in a couple of spots up toward 45 miles per hour. Still breezy through the rest of the week, especially Wednesday and Thursday. But as we head toward the weekend, I'm looking at temps that'll be in the mid 80s and mostly sunny skies. Can't rule out one of those showers as we head through the weekend, but right now things look mostly dry and pretty nice. It'll be a little humid too, of course, with all the recent rain. And Ron and Michelle, again, the good news is no tornado warnings. We're still tracking those severe thunderstorms moving across Haskell and Latimer County, but so far no sign of any organized rotation.
Scary, scary wake-up call for many people this morning just before the alarm was set to go off, the tornado that touched down in North Tulsa.
That's right. Fox 23's Sarah Hart is live near Newton and St. Louis with more on the damage there. We talked to a woman just a few moments ago, and there was a man that was taken to the hospital. What are you seeing now?
Yeah, we're on the backside of that, Ron, and it is just kind of crazy to see all of this. Before I get to showing you stuff, I have to say it's just almost eerily quiet out here right now. You hear the birds chirping, well, somebody yelling now, but you hear the birds chirping and the roosters and everything else, and then you hear sirens every once in a while, but that's kind of just how it sounds out here. I know you guys can't really hear what's going on around me, so I wanted to show you or tell you that. Now, if you look behind me, I haven't been able to talk to this homeowner yet, but I want to show you, this is the fence that's down, but on the other side of this fence, my photographer, Brent Snyder, and I had just noticed that this appears to be somewhat of a, watch out, Brent, there's nails sticking out of this fence where it was. Appears to be some kind of shed that was torn apart. We can't really figure out what it was, but you can see that there was stuff inside of this shed. And it looks like the shed just kind of fell apart. So that is some damage that happened here. And we're just kind of in a line, catty-cornered from where we were when the last time I saw you. So you can definitely tell the track that this storm took. And if you want to show now, Brent, right over here, you can also see a big part of what's going on here is just the flooding that's in these low-lying areas of the neighborhood where there's just nowhere for this water to go. If you look over here on the other side of this fence, still got some thunder there. You can just see it almost just looks more like a little pond back there instead of somebody's home. So definitely they're dealing with not only the major damage, but these homes that are damaged, a lot of water also getting into these houses. Now we're going to come back up here because I know Jenny Young has been talking about this too. I talked about it with a young woman over there on the other side of the block just a moment ago. That other tree that fell on a house, there are some big trees that were just ripped out of the ground with this storm. I walked up on this one because I can get close enough to this one to show you just how big these trees are. I'm about 5'7". This one I would say is probably 5 foot. I can't really tell from where I'm at right now, but this is a huge tree, about 5 feet of it, you know, just ripped out of the ground. You can also see as we step over here, like, ooh, just the grass and the sod that it just took up with it. That's how powerful this storm was as it moved through. And this one actually looks like it was 2 trees, if we can show here, because you got 2 root systems right here, and then both of those trees just headed up that direction. So it is just absolutely unbelievable to see what Mother Nature can do just in a few seconds. Again, I'm still trying to get a hold of that family that was over there that had their house cut in half, but from what we're being told by neighbors, that man is going to be okay, which is absolutely miraculous since the tree actually fell on top of him. These are big trees. So we're going to, of course, be walking around talking to some more people. Of course, everybody out surveying this damage. Pretty devastating for this part of the neighborhood. Ron, Michelle, back to you.
So scary. And Fox 23 Chief Meteorologist James Adelot was tracking that tornado as it touched down in North Tulsa this morning. Overnight, he was also tracking a tornado that touched down in Cherokee County.
That's right. And of course, right now, Preston Jones is live there in that area. They say that a small tornado hit in that area. And what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, Ron, just one look at the damage, and it certainly looks like a tornado here. I want to show you just how significant it is. This is the Spencer family's property. They have a couple of these big shops here. It's got, the owner calls this his hobby shop. It's got his tractor, his old collectible truck here, some other equipment. They've got a gym back here, and then an entire other building in the back. All of this just blown away. They don't even know where one of these buildings went to. You can see one of them collapsed over there, but the other building, they don't even know where it is. That's how significant. The owner here has obviously tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage from that storm last night. And over here, look at the trees. I mean, you can just see insulation. There are uprooted trees. There are all kinds of stuff from the damage. Just so significant here. I'm going to step back out of the way. It's pretty tricky where we're walking around here. The family was here at the time. The couple that lives here, they were here. They were inside of the house over here. If you see the house, the roof is gone. The couple who lives here, they were actually inside. They were trying to get to their storm shelter. Now we're going to go in that storm shelter. I'm going to show you the family. They've actually been hiding out in there this morning because it's been storming again, and they've been trying to stay dry. So we're going to get in here and try and talk to Karen really quick. Excuse me. Sorry. Karen, so this is your storm shelter here, right? Now, you weren't in here last night. I'm
Just lost him. He went into that storm shelter and we lost his signal. But wow, that was a really good, clear look at the damage. So much damage there. And it's really miraculously that the only injuries we're hearing about this morning is that gentleman with the arm injury in North Tulsa.
And thankfully, they had that storm shelter, and they were able to even take shelter there with the rain that was moving through later on this morning.
Yeah, just crazy. We are also seeing flooding all over the Tulsa metro and beyond. Our live severe weather team coverage continues now in Osage County.
Fox 23's Naomi Kidd is live in Hominy with the high water that's making it really difficult for drivers there.
Ron, I want you to take a look at this front yard. This is a home here in Hominy, and you can see just how deep the water is. You can see this is the front porch of the home. The garage is open, lots of stuff in there with flood damage, and even the line you can see on the bottom of the home here, which shows just how high that water was. I got a chance to talk with a woman whose daughter lives here, and she just says that this is really devastating to see all of this, to see all of this water pooled in the front yard of her daughter's home here in Hominy. And this isn't the only one like this. I've talked with several homeowners out here this morning, and they tell me that this was just standard. This is what they saw last night. Their homes and their streets flooded. It looked like a lake and river. Some of the people I talked with told me that water was just moving so quickly. If you take a look at some of the video we were able to get, this is of several different neighborhoods in the area. You can see that water, some of it was standing, some of it was moving, and it was a lot in yards just like this one. And it was very significant. I talked with the fire department, I talked with the police department. They had several rescues. Several people even had to be evacuated from their homes just so that they wouldn't get stuck. We did get a chance to talk with a woman earlier this morning about some of the things she saw. Take a listen.
The vehicles are being submerged in water, and toys are floating off down the street.
People tell me that they've dealt with flooding in Hominy before. It's not necessarily uncommon, but the kind of flooding that they saw overnight and into this morning, they say they have never seen anything like this before. I'm still going through my interviews with several different people and homeowners that I've talked with. They're really hoping that they'll be able to save something inside their homes here in the area. I'll check back in with you all coming up just in a little bit. Reporting live in Hominy, covering news that matters. I'm Naomi Kitt, Fox 23 News.
So much water flooding, obviously a big problem this morning.
That's right. So many times during the course of a year where we say we need more rainfall, we need more rainfall. They don't need any more rainfall where she is, and right now the rain continues to come down.
Yeah, we've got live severe weather team coverage. Chief Meteorologist James Adelot still here, along with meteorologist Michael Sager. He's in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center tracking how much longer we're under that flash flood watch.
Yeah, the flash flood watch does go through about 7 o'clock this evening, and the rain will be moving out with time. Fox 23 Chief Meteorologist James Adelot, he has been tracking those storms with some severe weather, and of course we had some tornado warnings earlier, but that line, James, continues to push its way to the east.
Yeah, and here's a look at the flash flood warnings. This is going to be a long-term issue. First flash flooding, and then we'll deal with creek and river flooding as we get rid of all the water that fell. And we had some incredible rainfall totals, up close to a foot in places, 9 inches, 8 to 9 inches in a few spots. So we still have flash flood warnings in effect. We look into the city right now. Best news is, as we look west of town, we start seeing this light rain begin to break up. Manford out into parts of Payne County. Heaviest rain is well east of Tulsa right now, kind of in this long line. This is not severe, but we've got some big time downpours right now. Grove down Highway 59, right about to move into Peggs right now. That's right in here. So we've got rain and thunder just about to start again in that area. We look further to the south and we continue to see the thunderstorm activity pick up a little bit in intensity in parts of Haskell and Latimer County, and it picks up a little bit, which is just enough to kick it over to a severe category. So we've got this line of severe thunderstorms through parts of Haskell County and Latimer County, and continuing to move to the east at about 40 miles per hour. And as it does, here's the track here: Ludi, Kenta, San Bois, Lafayette. We're looking at Red Oak, then into LaFleur County, close to Tallahena, also McCurtain, and toward Norris too. But as this continues moving east, it'll be out of our coverage area into LaFleur County soon. But again, thankfully, no tornado warnings are in effect. Michael Sager joining me right now. And Michael, we've had quite a long night as we track not only this heavy rain, but the effect that rain has as it cascades into our lakes.
Yeah, these are the updated lake levels. I just finished this just within the last minute or so, and now Keystone just under 25 feet above the norm. Skytook has really come up now, 9.6 feet above normal. Oologah about 18.2 feet above normal. Eufaula, not much change, 6 feet above the norm. And then, of course, Grand Lake about 9 feet above normal. Hudson, 14.1 feet above normal. Fort Gibson, 1.6 feet above the norm. And 10 Killer now sitting at 15.9 feet above the norm. Of course, you mentioned this earlier, James. You were talking about all the rain flowing into the creeks, into the rivers, and then eventually into our lakes. So we're going to have more water flowing into these lakes here. And of course, I expect these numbers to come up as we go here over the next couple of days. Now that rain is moving on out. James was tracking the storms as they continue to push their way to the east, and the severe threat pretty much coming to an end here over the next couple of hours. I think the threat will be done for eastern Oklahoma. We've got a little bit more still to move on through before we're completely done. But through the afternoon, we'll see temperatures up into the 70s. We'll enjoy some sunshine, believe it or not, and it will be a nice day if you can handle a strong south wind. That's the only downside to the forecast this afternoon, is that it will be quite windy. Winds could gust up to 40 miles per hour. As we head through the evening hours, I think most of us will stay quiet. We might get a shower or two to try to wrap around far northwestern portions of Green Country, but I think most of us will stay quiet. Of course, if you want to stay up to date with any severe weather as we go through the rest of spring and into the summer, download the Fox 23 weather app. You can get audio alerts sent right to your phone. If there's any tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, or any sort of advisory that you need, it comes right there to your phone, right there at your fingertips. Lightning alerts, interactive radar, and of course, if you would happen to lose power, this is probably the best feature of the app. If you happen to lose power and you need to see what's happening, and you can watch our coverage live streaming on the app. It is a great feature, especially if you're taking shelter and would happen to lose power. But for more on what we can expect through the rest of the weekend and the upcoming weekend, thankfully, James, it is looking a little quieter compared to what we've had the last 24 hours.
It is, and we'll continue to watch that line of severe thunderstorms moving through Latimer and Haskell County and any potential rotations with those. We take a look on the 5-day forecast because all of this is going to clear out by midday. Great news as we roll toward the latter part of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm going to keep temps in the mid-80s. Going to stay a little bit breezy, but as we head toward the weekend, we've got some beautiful weather on the way. Just a couple of widely scattered showers or a thunderstorm possible. Most of us will likely stay dry, but finally a good-looking weekend ahead. Maybe we can catch up on some yard work outside. Ron, Michelle?
Yeah, James,
Yeah,
I'm like, when will my yard ever dry out? Flooding, obviously a big issue. We're finding flooding in West Tulsa this morning as well.
That's right. Fox 23's Rick Marinon joins us live after just arriving on the scene there. Rick, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, we're just outside of Covanta, and we have one stalled car. Covanta's where they burn all the trash for all the municipalities. You can see a trash truck, but we have a stalled car, and there is another one down there. The water is getting higher out here at West 21st and Yukon. This is a very busy stretch of road because a lot of people, you see the direction that that G truck essentially is going. That is the bridge that leads you to the main thoroughfares into downtown Tulsa from the Berry Hill area. So a lot of people use this to commute, but this car here is the story. It is if you have a low riding car, you're pretty much taking your chances. A lot of people are going to gun it, but obviously that BMW tried to gun it and ended up stalling out, and the water continues to climb out here. We have some SUVs that aren't even getting through this. Other people are just not confident out here. If you take 21st Street to get to the bridge over the rail yard and you are trying to head east or west in that vicinity near the refinery, take an alternative route, something on higher ground. You can see that BMW did not make it, and they are blocking the entrance to Covanta. There is also another car down there also blocking the way. So we are on the outskirts of where the Holly Refinery, BNSF Rail Yard, and Covanta all meet, and the water is rising out here. I have not been able to see any kind of storm drain in this intersection yet that is bubbling over or anything like that. So this water is going to accumulate until obviously nature just does its thing. I don't think city infrastructure is going to give us much help out here, but this water is also pushing into the Holly Refinery as well. So we'll continue to monitor this flooding. We're going to go check out other places as well. But for now, I'll say it one more time. If you take West 21st through the refinery near the BNSF rail yard, or you are trying to get to Covanta, you will experience heavy flooding. And if you have a car that is kind of low to the ground, whether that be luxury or any kind of sedan, you may not make it. So definitely take an alternative route in the trying to get out of Berry Hill or into Berry Hill on West 21st. Also, take note, I just remembered, there's a driver's license testing facility just down the road from me down there. You can see that Audi down there. So if you need driver's license testing today, find an alternative route or try to reschedule if you need to make an appointment down there. That is where the Department of Public Safety has an office down there. But Lee, if you can get back over here, we'll show you. This is how you're going to end up if you're taking West 21st. We will send it back to you. We are going to go look for more flooding impacts out here. Reporting live in West Tulsa, covering news that matters. I'm Rick Marin on Fox 23 News.
Good to see that Audi doing the right thing and backing up.
Around.
Could have been a really dangerous situation.
That's right. Now we're going to head back over to Chief Meteorologist James Adelot. He's in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center because, you know, he hasn't been working hard enough over the last 24 hours. What do you got, James?
Well, we've got a new tornado warning that clips the corner of our viewing area, but we're on continuously for any tornado warning, regardless of where it is in the viewing area. And we've got a new one that has just been issued for a rotating part of a thunderstorm in Pushmataha County right now, close to Clayton and Sardis Lake. That's going to be moving to the north-northeast and will move across parts of eastern Latimer County. Now, here's the important thing to note. As this potential tornado moves to the northeast into Latimer County, it is staying to the east of Wilburton and most likely just to the east of the Damon community too in parts of Latimer County. Let me zoom out. I'll put a track on the storm because we're seeing that rotation increasing in the Clayton area just to the east of Clayton right now. Just fine-tuning that. So right here on Highway 271, as we track that storm moving to the northeast, we get a motion on that at about 45 miles per hour, and there is that warning. And as it moves to the northeast at around 45 miles per hour, you can see not Roberts Cave State Park or Wilburton or Damon community or Veterans Colony, but we're looking at Tallahena and Lamberson. So this is going to be moving right up kind of in, this is pretty heavily forested area right in here in some of the Kiamichi ridge lines. Come back out of that into southern parts of Latimer County to the west of Tallahena. Let's zoom into this. We get a little bit closer in here. I'll drop that tornado warning track. Because what we're seeing is essentially this is going to go very close to Albion and then toward Tallahena. So south of 271 here, that is pretty rugged terrain. We actually have at one point or another off-roaded a little bit down there, and it is rugged terrain. Here's what we're looking at. There's the circulation, a little bit brighter red here, a little bit brighter green right here. So this is east of Highway 2, and that's going to be moving to the northeast. Should be crossing the county line soon. It's already north of 271, so south of 271 in this tornado warning area. You're going to be all clear from this. We'll be watching it very closely in Albion, but it looks like as this continues to move to the northeast, the most likely track will take it to the northwest of the community of Albion. We'll do a quick check here for any kind of lofted debris, and I'm not seeing any clear indication of that. But what we are seeing is that rotation taking place, again, just to the north of 271, just to the east of Highway 2, and that's going to eventually cross the county line and move up a little closer to Highway 1 and toward Tallahena. So this is the zone we're going to watch closely. Again, this is staying to the south of Wilburton and to the southeast of Damon and Veterans Colony. It's going to be really close to Yanish in parts of southern Latimer County right now, and Tuscahoma. In fact, the circulation's in the Tuscahoma area right now. Not a big spot, but it's still that circulation in that area. We'll look at it on high-resolution Doppler radar, and as this moves to the northeast, there are the rotations that we're seeing. So one kind of in the Tuscahoma area, and that's going to be moving right up here, eventually crossing Highway 1, which is kind of running out from Tallahena to the west. There's the Tallahena Airport, which is actually over in parts of southeastern Latimer County. It's going to be a little closer to the Tallahena Airport soon as it continues to move toward the northeast. Again, a quick check. Correlation coefficient as we look at dual pole Doppler radar. I'm not seeing any indication at all that we have any lofted debris with it, but that's the area of rotation. And I readjust the warning, the motion on this just a little bit. Kind of right in the Tuscahoma areas where we're seeing that rotation take place. Again, Tulsa is all clear with this new tornado warning. I'll zoom back out just a little bit and we'll take a look at reflectivity because we will continue to see this tornado warned storm in pretty rugged country right now as it moves over some of the ridge lines in the Kiamichis. A little more rugged south of 271 and Albion Kiamichi Trail area. But as this moves to the northeast, it's getting close to the county line right now, moving at 45 miles per hour. It is not going to take long to move all the way across that southeastern corner of Latimer County. The warning is in effect till 9:45, but it's going to be out of Latimer County before that warning expires. Meteorologist Michael Sager also taking a look at the storm. What have you got, Michael?
Yeah, looking at that line of storms here to the north as well that goes all the way here through parts of Cherokee County and all the way down here into parts of Muskogee County, soon to be moving here, Sequoia County, and eventually here into Adair County. This line here packing a bit of a punch. Severe thunderstorm warning for this for about 60-mile-per-hour winds, maybe some small hail included in this. And it's moving off to the east. And with that track off to the east, so it will be near Gore here within the next couple of minutes, probably within Tahlequah in about 7 minutes. And we're looking at Cookson about 9:15, Vian about 9:18, McKee at about 9:26, Rocky Mountain about 9:28, and we're looking at Salisal 9:36, and eventually to around Stillwell in Adair County at about 9:40. Now we'll switch it over to velocity, and again, always keeping an eye. Sometimes you get these spin-ups within this line, so keeping a close eye on this as well. And noticing here, again, it's not too impressive, but starting to see a little bit of this arc back here near Tahlequah and to the west of Tahlequah. Might just be an area that we'll have to watch pretty closely for maybe the rotation trying to tighten up a little bit. But so far, so good with this area here as we look a little bit farther down to the south. So let's, in fact, pan it farther south, and again we'll take you back down here over that tornado warning storm to the storm itself, and the rotation itself is currently over Pushmataha County. But as we drop a little bit farther to the south, you can see here again, there we are right around Clayton. Everything moving off to the north and to the east there's that tornado warning that does include Tallahena, far south and western portions here of LaFleur County and eastern portions of Latimer County. And of course that circulation with that movement off to the north and to the east. We'll do a quick storm track on that as well. And again, with that northeastern track here coming up into parts of Latimer County and LaFleur County. Again, Kiamichi about 9:08, Tallahena 9:22, Red Oak at about 9:36, Hughes around 9:40, Fanshawe about 9:43. Again, that would be the most dangerous portion of the storm. That would be the storm that would be most capable of producing a tornado. We've not had any confirmed reports of a tornado with this, but the rotation has tightened up enough that has led us to believe that it is certainly a possibility. That's why the tornado warning has been issued with that track off to the north and to the east. Now we'll go ahead and remove that track, and we'll zoom out and just kind of go back to reflectivity here to show you where it's raining heavily and again where this line is currently located. And this line, it's almost clear of eastern Oklahoma. Again, we've got severe thunderstorm warnings lined up all along here, and there's the flash flood warnings too. So you can see very active weather right where